Vigraha Adi Adi Govinda Sarvakaranam. Brahma Samhita prayers for invoking auspiciousness, much like the Achman prayer. Om Pavitra Apavitro Va Sarvavastam Gatopi Va Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Pundarikaksham Sabhaya Abhyantara Suchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. The Brahma Samhita prayers invoke auspiciousness, and as Prabhupada had us do this Achman prayer, indicating regardless of one's prior condition, pavitra or apavitra, purified or unpurified, sarvavastam gatopi va, having passed through all circumstances of life, with just one thing, yasmaret pundarikaksham, by remembrance of the personality of Godhead, which is naturally awakened by calling His name, then one becomes qualified or purified. Suchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. 3 times. This is Dinabandhu led us this morning in this Radhe Shyam. And then don't let it back in again. Very nice, very nice. But don't let it back in again, having become purified. I'd like to speak briefly, same verse that we discussed the very first day. If you remember this invocation verse from Srinath Chakravarti Thakur's Srimad Bhagavatam commentary, that's a very celebrated verse. Arajo Bhagavan Vrajesha Taniyas Tadama Vrindavanam. There's 5 parts. The essence of the verse is saying these teachings, these statements are the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He held these truths to be self-evident. Arajo Bhagavan, who? Vrajesha Taniyas. Taniyas is the son of Nanda, or Vraja Isha. The Isha, the Lord, the controller, the master of Vraja. Vraja Isha, it's Nanda Maharaj. Vraja Isha Tanayas, just a nice name of identifying Krishna. Vrajesha Tanayas, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Radyo Bhagavan. Worship the personality of Godhead, who is Bhagavan. Tad Dhamma Vrindavanam, whose pronoun Tad Dhamma, his abode is Vrindavan. And then, of course, we've been hearing so much about the significance of the kind of love of Radha and her gopi friends. So, Ramya Kachit Vraja Vadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. The best of all the worshippers is the Vraja Vadhu, the wives of the cowherd men, the gopis. Vraja Vadhu Vargena, their group, all of them. The gopis are, there's no better worship of Arajo Bhagavan Vrajesha than the gopis, the best of all worship. And then Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Pramanam. Anyone in ISKCON knows that because we've heard it from day one. The spotless Amala, the pure best sound vibration is this Srimad Bhagavatam. Of all the Vedas, it's the best. And we hear it again and again and then again and again, and Mahaprabhu's held that opinion, and we accept. And then finally, Prema Pumarto Mahan. The topmost stage of consciousness from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is the stage of prema. As we've been discussing, our acharyas, they take each of these and expand them and expand them and expand them, but they're all resting upon these essential platforms or essential truths that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. And that those who are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also accept. So what's the effect? We've heard many things, and let's hear some more. The effect of hearing this sound vibration of the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan and the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the very beginning of Canto 10, Chapter 1, there's some nice expressions about the benefits or the effect of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Many of you know the verse, Nirvrita Tayashayar Upagiyamana Bhavosada Shrotra Manobi Ramat. If you don't know the verse, you've heard the verse many, many times. Nirvriti means eradication. Nirvriti Tayashayar. The taste for material enjoyment is eradicated. Nirvrita Tayashayar Upagiyamana, that which is giya, that which is sung or spoken. It's like some very nice bhajans, like this nice bhajan that Dina Bandhu sang this morning, with so many nice bhajans I've never heard before. Shatarupa sang a nice bhajan I never heard before. Very nice, very simple, just names and very simple glorifications of the personality of Godhead. And just hearing them, they're so simple, easy to understand, and it has an effect. Bhavo sajat shrotra manobi ramat. Bhava is like the opposite of bhava. Bhava is material suffering, material existence. And this sound vibration acts like a medicine, oshadi, bhavoshadat. And it's a medicine that you take through your ear. Other medicines go this way, this medicine goes this way. Bhavoshadat shrota manobiramat, abhiram. The mind becomes delighted. And when the mind becomes delighted, gradually, the heart also becomes delighted. And our whole being becomes delighted. Just by this wonderful message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held up as the topmost of all Vedic texts. Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Pramanam. Pramana means evidence or means of knowing something. Jiva Goswami has written his Tattva Sandarbha, and the whole first section is pramana. Like if you want to know about Krishna, he states that at the beginning of Tattva Sandarbha. I want to know about Krishna. But before exploring, knowing about Krishna, first thing is, what's the best means of knowing Krishna? Or for that matter, the best means of knowing anything. But certainly the best means of knowing transcendence. And if you know the best means of knowing transcendence, then you have the best means of knowing anything. Because I was curious, I wanted to see what the world was saying about the lunar eclipse. Maybe some of you are also curious. So there's this photography of viewing the lunar eclipse slowly, 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 and there's a whole explanation of what's the cause of the lunar eclipse, and they can calculate when the next one's going to be, and so on, so forth. It's the alignment of the shadow of the earth as the sun casts its rays on the earth, and there's a shadow that's cast by the absence of the sunlight. And it's certain alignment, it covers the moon, and that's where the lunar eclipse occurs, and they can calculate it numerically, astrologically. And the Vedas say something very different. No, because the scientists can calculate and the Vedas can calculate, which way are you going to lean? It doesn't mean if this explanation can calculate that it's wrong, but it's incomplete. I very much like Sariputa's explanation of Vedic cosmology. In simplified form, Vedic cosmology is, here's a picture of the structure of the universe that leads to materialism and materialistic society and etc., etc. And there's another picture that's very empirically correct. One can predict all these astrological, astronomical events and so forth and so on, using a system that doesn't have anything to do with sense perception and reason and logic. It's just the Vedic conclusion. And the outcome of one is atheism, and the outcome of the other is theism, where you have a relationship with Krishna. Now, which one? And I didn't plan to speak on this, but it just, because of the lunar eclipse yesterday, I'm speaking about it. We're following the path, the Vedic path, and the Vedic path gives a very clear explanation of everything, and including everything. There isn't something that's not included. That the absolute truth is that which is the source of everything. So the Vedas establish the absolute truth as the supreme person. And then the source of everything has a different explanation if you don't accept the Vedas. And it leaves so many unanswered questions. My thoughts are going away from the initiation ceremony into, the perils of modern science. I'll say it anyways. We have time. One time I was invited at the University of Houston for the, what's it called? Indian Graduate Student Association, IGSA. Indian Graduate Student Association. And the forum was a little amphitheater. It was like, where the seats raise up and up and up and up. And I had a seat over here, and there's the audience with these PhD, super bright Indian graduate students. And the topic was Vedic cosmology, because that's something that graduate students, technology-oriented, engineer-oriented, even IT-oriented graduate students like. So we had this whole discussion on, at least at that time, it was Sariputa's picture. The models that he presents within his book on Vedic cosmology. At the end, one student raised his hand and said, according to modern science, it has been calculated down to milliseconds before the Big Bang. And from the Big Bang, then they can calculate everything and everything and everything, all the events. So I said two things. That which exploded in the Big Bang, where'd that come from? And what triggered the explosion? And supposing that which triggered the explosion was Mahavishnu. And it wasn't a bang, it was just the expanding of the energy of Mahavishnu. So what are you going to say to that? And then the other is, after the Big Bang happens, and matter goes out and out and out and out and out and out, then what happens? And the answer was, well, there's two theories. One is the universe just dissipates into nothingness, and then the other theory is the universe implodes back upon itself and enters back into the singularity. That's really far out. So what's a singularity, by the way? It's a dimensionless point with unlimited mass squeezed into it. So once upon a time there was a dimensionless point with unlimited mass, and it went kaboom. And mass went flying in all directions. And that's science. So I said that the result of one is atheism, the result of other is theism. And one is based on speculation and one is based on descending knowledge. So I'm speaking to Indian graduate students, and you know the Vedic message and the Vedic conclusion. There is a source of everything, and it's not a singularity. After all, where did singularity come from, and what triggered its explosion? That they cannot say, but it just happened, just was. So that's God. That from which everything comes is a singularity. Where does singularity come from? Don't ask that question. It just is. That's as you say God is, we say singularity is. And one leads to the society in the world today, and the other leads to Vedic culture and realization if one pursues it properly. So this Srimad Bhagavatam draws us to the Vedic paradigm where there is a source of everything, and all the misinformation, misunderstandings, and confusion and chaos that exist in the minds and the hearts of people of this world, Nivrittataishai Upagiyamana, Bhavosha Jach, Bhava, it's the right medicine for that disease, material disease. Ka Uttima Shloka Gunanavadat. Persons who are sensible, persons who are want the true benefit of life, that's where they go, to this message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now there's a difficulty. The mind, the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and ego are cluttered with debris. The vestiges of our advanced education system. So it takes some time to clear all that. Where do you put this part? Where do you put that part? Where do you put the other part? You have to have a big parking lot and put stuff in the parking lot. And eventually, gradually, this and that have their place. And some things just are pushed to the side. It's just not to say that understanding things. We discussed this during the Damodar Leela. Mother Jasoda, she used her reasoning faculty several times. We use our reasoning faculty and our senses in Krishna's service. But there's a purpose behind it, it's pleasing Krishna. And in our case, under the direction of Scripture and the guidance of a spiritual master. So this process of initiation comes gradually for those who take the process of purification seriously. Now, I like speaking at least two verses that every time I attended or heard recordings of initiation lectures, Prabhupada invariably spoke about. So I'm going to speak about them and follow Srila Prabhupada's example. Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Samshaya Tasmat Diksheti Diksha Tasmat Diksheti Sa Prokta Deshikais Tatvakovidai Deshikas. And Tattva Kovidas, persons who are very learned, say that Diksha is that process whereby Divyam Jnanam, transcendental knowledge, Tato Dadyat. Now where does transcendental knowledge come from? Ultimately, transcendental knowledge comes from the source of everything and comes from Krishna. So when the disciplic succession is properly connected, the Divyam Jnanam comes from the source of everything. And the disciplic succession simply serves as a conduit or a line connecting one with Krishna. Thus that there's a number of candidates here who will be receiving first initiation. And I want to make sure, as far as possible, that we can take our vows before the deity, and the deity door opens at 4 o'clock. So if I speak a little bit longer than I would otherwise, it's to wait for the 4 o'clock door to open. So don't mind me speaking a lot more than usual. Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Koryat Papasya Sangsaya. 2 things. Papa is eradicated and transcendental knowledge is awakened. And the Deshikas and Tattva Kovidas, they say this is what the process of initiation is. It awakens transcendental knowledge. It's by submission unto Krishna, and the formal acceptance by Krishna through disciplic succession of that submission. That's what initiation is. And there's the effect of that submission and acceptance. Transcendental knowledge awakens. Now it's not that you can't have transcendental knowledge awaken without initiation. Or you can't have sins eradicated without initiation. But the formalization of that submission and acceptance is Diksha. And it opens the doorway through that submission unto Krishna through disciplic succession and Krishna's acceptance, that the conduit, the doorway for transcendental knowledge awakening, Divyam Jnanam, Yato Dadyat, Dadyat means it's given. Krishna recognizes the submission and the acceptance, his acceptance, and the disciplic succession's acceptance. The current link, using Prabhupada's term. But in ISKCON we have, some nice rules. Some people don't like rules, but I think they're good rules, where the disciple course, letters of recommendation, and the purpose behind those things is that it doesn't guarantee anything, but it helps ensure quality. It helps ensure quality, because as we go along, if we don't have measures to ensure quality, then likely things over the course of time will get watered down and diluted. We don't want that. I was very surprised. I don't know if any of you were surprised. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that we went to Suryakund. The pujaris there are ISKCON devotees. On the altar, it's not an ISKCON temple, it's not ISKCON property, but on the altar there's a murti of Srila Prabhupada, disciplic succession down to Srila Prabhupada, and over on the side was the devotee's Diksha Guru, who was an ISKCON Guru. And he spoke English. He took me right up on the altar. It was like, wow. And they served the devotees khichdi, and it was really nice. So how over a period of time, as we've seen many things, there's been comments. Those who have been to Vrindavan before and those that are Vrindavan today, many things have changed. And in many cases, the changes aren't for the better. The pollution and the noise and the traffic and the plastic and so many things have changed. The original, the simplicity and purity is not the same. this is my god sister Lakshmi Moni. And she'll ask her afterwards, she'll tell you the same story. Before there was the Krishna Balaram Mandir, this was agricultural land in all directions. You walked out the front gate, it isn't what we see now. It's this agricultural land in all directions. It was very simple. That some of the devotees are asking Prabhupada, why you want to go off in why don't you go to where all the action is? It was, this is where the temple is going to be, Raman Reti. Nice place. Boy, has it changed. So the simplicity and purity, you can't see. It's as Jumana Jivan has said earlier, that the oil layer has gotten thicker. So how to appreciate the transcendental beauty? We heard Dinabandhu describing the transcendental beauty of the place where we were. It's hard to find that simplicity and purity anymore, even in Vrindavan. Anyway, the transcendental abode is here, Tadhama Vrindavanam, and we can get access to it starting with the sound vibration, and then further by having this descending mercy come to us in the form of sound awakening and purifying and bringing transcendental knowledge, like our predecessor acharyas had the capacity. Another verse that Srila Prabhupada referred to often is a verse in the section where the Prachetas are speaking to King Nimi, Canto 11, Chapter 3. Tasmat Gurun Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Jigyasu means inquisitiveness. Jigyasa, wanting to know. Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Srila Prabhupada made access to Krishna consciousness so simple. And many times he would just say something like, in Sanskrit there are two words, Shreya and Preya. Preya means short-term benefit, Shreya means long-term benefit. Just like a child, they want to play. And at some stage, the mother and father say, can't just play, you have to go to school. No, I don't want to go to school, I want to play. But you have to think about the long-term benefit, because one day you're going to grow up and you're going to need education, and so you need to go to school. So Preya is short-term, Shreya is long-term benefit. So we should invest in long-term benefit while we're living our day-to-day life. But Shreya Uttama is the ultimate, topmost benefit. And those who are inquisitive, Jigyasu Shreya Uttama, such persons require a spiritual master. Said negatively, if one doesn't have such inquisitiveness, one doesn't need a spiritual master. So one should have such inquisitiveness of Shreya Uttama, Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Tasmat means therefore, Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Now how do I tell? What are the qualifications of Guru? What are the qualifications of a disciple? Shabde pare chanishnatam. Shabde, hearing. Shabda. Shabda pare, transcendental knowledge. Shabde pare chanishnatam, fixed and firm. Shabde pare chanishnatam, brahmani upushamashrayam. And all other things are discarded, put to the side. So that's a qualification of the spiritual master. Samatpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. That's the qualification of a disciple. Samatpani. Samatpani means they carry firewood in their hand. It's just symbolic, like Krishna and Sandipani Muni. Not Sandip, in the school of Sandipani Muni. Krishna and Sudama, Brahman, together went to gather firewood. Because in school, in the traditional Gurukul system, one of the necessities of the student is to learn simplicity and humility and service. So, although Krishna was the son of Vasudeva, an exalted Yadu family descendant, and Sudama was a Brahmin, in the school of Sandipani Muni, they just did menial service. Samadpani, just do menial service. And the menial service can be even exalted service, but the mood should be the mood of menial service. And this is the part of the necessity of submission. Now, some of the persons here are not receiving first initiation, but second initiation. There's a good number assembled here. And there's a nice verse, amongst many nice verses, that Jiva Goswami cites or writes in his Sandarbhas, Bhakti Sandarbha. Yatha Kanchanatam yati kamsyam rasa vidanataha tata diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nranam. Nice verse. Again, I don't know much Sanskrit. I'm not a Sanskrit scholar by any means. But hearing Prabhupada, there's always things I can learn. Yatha tata. As this, so that. It's a comparison. So something known to something unknown. The something known is even not so well known, but yatha kamsyam rasa vidhanena. Vidhanena comes from vidhi, or the rules. Yatha kamsyam rasa vidhanena. Rasa in this case means quicksilver or mercury. And there's a process of alchemy, this vidhanena. The alchemy process is a process by which by combination of mercury with bell metal or base metal, it can make the combination into gold. Now, Prabhupada has described this in different times, in different ways. And the elements in the table, the Western table, of the elements of gold and the elements of base metal and the elements of mercury combined together makes it easy for him, because he was a chemist, easy to understand how you can transfer base metal into gold by use of mercury. But the process of alchemy is something the Germans, according to history, when they understood this is something from the Vedas, they had faith in the Vedas. There's a whole alchemy group of scientists that tried to mix mercury with base metal and make gold. They invested a lot of time and energy with faith in what the Vedas said. But Prabhupada explained what the procedure is. If the yogis knew the procedure, and he described the procedure as at night before taking rest they would drink some mercury. Now, mercury is poisonous. It's one of the things that parents should know. They probably know. You don't let your child play with a thermometer, because in the thermometer, that little red stuff is mercury. It's very sensitive to temperature, and if it's hot, it goes up, and if it's cold, it goes down. So it's quicksilver. So it's poisonous. But they would drink some mercury at night, and if they woke up, then in the morning when they passed water, they would pass water on base metal and it transformed the base metal into gold. Now maybe there's some yogis that didn't make it, but there's some yogis that made gold from that combination of base metal and quicksilver, or rasa vidhanena. So as by the process of alchemy, one can turn base metal into gold. Tata, yata tata, diksha vidhanena. There's also vidhis or rules for becoming a qualified brahmana. And the process of Diksha is part of that process of becoming a qualified Brahmana. Now what Prabhupada wanted, and we're meant to be followers of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he wanted that persons who weren't necessarily of a Brahmana quality before they began devotional service to become qualified. I'm listening to a whole section of Canto 1, Chapter 5, where Prabhupada is in Vrindavan, 1969, June, and class after class after class is on the same subject. In relation to Srimad Bhagavatam's composition, but his wanting persons to become qualified. You know, the persons who went to Vrindavan were often people that in the city temples, we really didn't know how to engage them. So we sent them to Vrindavan. And so they weren't like scholarly, they were different people. But Prabhupada speaking strongly again and again and again, how he wanted persons that may have, their backgrounds may be whatever they may be, but he want, for the sake of the welfare of society, he wanted such persons, and all persons, all of us, to become dvijas. Dvijatam jayate nirnam. By the process of Diksha. And then one can be called Brahmana. So he awarded the Brahmana Gayatri mantras. Some persons in India objected, you can't do this. And he had strong explanation why not only he can do it, we must do it. And the qualification is not one's birth, but one's qualities. Now this verse specifically says one develops the quality of a Brahmana, but we're supposed to have qualities, Brahmana-like qualities, before we receive Brahminical initiation, because we have to perform duties of a Brahmana. And the duties of a Brahmana are largely to speak the Vedas and to conduct one's life according to the way that one speaks the knowledge of the Vedas. That's a big responsibility. I'll say it again, it's so big. To know what the Vedas say and to speak it, and to be examples of what you speak. Not say one thing and do another thing, but say what the Vedas say and live your life accordingly. Carry the qualities of a Brahmana and live your life accordingly. And that's very powerful. The more that can be established in the world can be uplifted, because the confusion in the world is the lack of persons that know what's what. So somebody's going to take the position of knowing what's what and say what's not instead of what's what. And they're the teachers and leaders, and people are misled and misinstructed and misguided. And so the society is in chaos and confusion. So we don't have to be like heroes with, big arms and, cleaning up the mess. We just have to become pure. That's the recommendation, the faith that our founder Acharya had. It's like Dina Bandhu was nice what he said this morning. What Prabhupada went through in the beginning of the Hare Krishna movement, we can go on and on and on. There was nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing. And he had a vision, a worldwide vision. It's 4 o'clock, the doors should open shortly. But I want to just say one thing. One of the places we're not going to go, but if you have the opportunity to sometime go to the place where Srila Prabhupada lived before he moved into the temple at Radha Damodar. It's a little tiny place, 19 feet by 7 feet. That was his headquarters. And he had a vision to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, although he had nothing. He had nothing. He had an invitation to go to Japan to give the teachings of the Bhagavatam. So he wrote a book Light of the Bhagavad, 20,000 word book that never got published, he never went. But in the message was a world that's God conscious, and leaders of society, the intellectuals that were to be gathered at this event, that they would take the message of the Bhagavatam in their heart, and he called the book Light of the Bhagavad. He was a powerful person with nothing. As we discussed in relation to Akrura, he was in a very, very difficult situation. So whatever our situation may be, favorable, not so favorable, whatever, the circumstance may be favorable, not favorable, but we have a mission and we have a means to achieve the mission. Service to our founder Acharya is the horse or the vehicle that we ride, and whether you have facilities or not, the mission is still before us, and to assist our founder Acharya, that's our life. That's the life not just of his disciples, but for all of the next generations. That's why the ISKCON Disciple Course is there. There's so much emphasis on connecting with our founder Acharya. So it's a great opportunity and a great responsibility both. What all of you are doing who are taking vows of initiation and your second initiation Gayatri mantras. So take it seriously. Many of you waited a long time to come here to Vrindavan for this event. So here we are, shortly in front of the deities of Krishna Balaram, Radha Shama Sundar, and Gaur Nitai. Let's see how the kirtan goes. So what I'm hoping to do is, there's groups of devotees who are going to receive first initiation, and he's got the list of the groups of devotees, and I have the list of the names. So, do you want a microphone? Do you need a microphone? Huh? Microphone? Krishna Balaram ki jai, Radha Shama Sundara ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Gaur Premanandi. Vrindavan is a special place. Vrindavan temple is special and a special place. So if there's lots of noise going on around, just stay focused.
First, we invite Anapurna Misa Mataji from Melbourne.
Could you make room for the Mataji to get through?
Anapurna Mataji from Melbourne.
Obeisances? Now, normally I'd have you go before Srila Prabhupada, but it'll take 2 hours to do all this. So in your heart you offer obeisances to Prabhupada. Okay, you have to come forward so I can hear you. Come forward. Right here. Now, there's a story with each of these devotees. How long you've been practicing Krishna consciousness? 15 years. Melbourne has a really high bar for getting recommendation for this. But she made it. So, the vows, how many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day for the rest of your life? 16 rounds minimum. Good? Yeah. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Very good. And You'll make your best effort to carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Ananda Radhika Devi Dasi.
Ananta Radhika Mataji ki.
Thank you. You go back.
It's Indira Singh, Sanjay Patel, and Ankita Patel from USA.
There's 3 USA devotees. Come forward, offer obeisances. I've known Indira and her family, it seems like, for decades. How long have you been practicing Krishna consciousness? 24 years. And she's been steady. Very wonderful devotee. She has many friends in New York, and they're very happy that this event is occurring in her life here in Vrindavan Dham before Krishna Balaram and Radha Shyama Sundar. Okay, so your vows, how many rounds you'll chant every day? 16 minimum. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Very good. And as you've been doing for 24 years, you'll continue to make your best effort to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Your initiated name is Vraja Vasani Devi Dasi. Vraja, you know the meaning. Vasani means a resident. Vraja Vasani Devi Dasi. You're the servant of the Vrajavasis, the gopis, the female residents of Vrindavan. That's the meaning of your name. You can't match their numbers, but they're very, very sincere devotees that I've known for many years. And let's do the vows. So on your beads, you'll chant how many rounds every day minimum?
16 rounds minimum.
Very good. There are 4 rules that you'll follow.
No gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no trading.
Very good. And as you've been doing, you continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings as closely as you can. Your initiated name is Sarup Das. Now there's different meanings of Sarup, and the meaning aside from the form of Krishna, Sarup. Sarup is the Brahma, the name of Sarup Damodar. But I'll give you a little text that tells you when we get over to see each other. Sarup Damodar's little history. Very special person in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Okay. Now we would blow lunch but not have loud kirtan during the arti, but the conch is definitely loud. Anyway, so and the 4 rules that you'll follow. Okay, and like your good husband, you'll continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings as best you can. Your initiated name is Chandrakanti Devi Dasi.
Chandrakanti Devi Dasi Mataji ki jai. Next.
Wait. Chandrakanti, the meaning is the gopi who personifies Radha's effulgence. There's a whole group, 6 people from Satyavrata's Seva group. All of you come forward, all 6 of you, including they know who they are. They know who they are.
And his wife, Subramanya Prabhu and his wife, Tulasi Ram Prabhu, Pankaj Kumar Prabhu. Seva Prabhu.
All 6 of these devotees are working closely together with Satyavrata, who lives here in Vrindavan with his good wife. And one of his daughters is going to be receiving second initiation later. So they're very indebted and very dear to Satyavrata Prabhu. So Anup, your vows, how many rounds you'll chant on your beats?
Minimum 60.
That was very firm. And the 4 rules that you follow?
No meditating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
Very good. And you'll continue to carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Very good. Your initiated name is Adi Shesha Das.
Adi Shesha Das Prabhu.
This is the name of Balaram, Adi Shesh. Sandeep. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads daily?
Minimum 60 rounds every day.
And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
And let me remind everybody, we're in front of the deities, Krishna Balaram and Radhashama Sundar and Gauranitai. So these are strong vows meant to be followed. And you'll carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Sadhu Sangananda. No explanation needed. Sadhu Sangananda. And his good wife. How many rounds you'll chant every day on your beads?
Minimum 16 rounds.
And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meditating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex.
Okay. And like your good husband, you'll continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings carefully. Your initiated name is Kirtida Sundari Devi Dasi. No explanation required. Kirtida is the name of Radharani's mother, and her features are Sundari, very beautiful. Kirtida Sundari Devi Dasi. Subramanyam. You have some friends. You have many friends, but one of your friends wrote me a little note saying they're so happy to see you taking this step. I'll let you guess who that was. You probably know. Yes. Okay. So, the vows, how many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day?
60.
And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Okay, very good. And you'll continue, as you have been doing, to carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings. By the way, you and your wife have been practicing Krishna consciousness for how many years now? 20 years. Your initiated name is Shri Dhruva Priya Das.
Shri Dhruva Priya Das Prabhu ki jai.
Now here in Vrindavan is the place where Dhruva did his austerities, in Madhuvan. We didn't go there because the place doesn't accommodate this many people. But we were planning to go there, and that's why you got that name. Dhruva Priya, one who's very dear to Dhruva, or Dhruva holds is very dear to him, is the Supreme Lord, Shri Dhruva Priya Das. For some reason, Shamarani really likes you. Both of you. But he especially seems to have appreciation for you. Okay. So how many rounds you chant on your beads daily?
Minimum 16 rounds.
And the rules that you follow?
No meditating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit.
And like your good husband, you'll continue, as you've been doing for 20 years, continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings. Initiated name is Sarva Mai Devidasi.
Sarva Mai Devidasi Mataji ki jai.
This is the name of the goddess of fortune, literally meaning all-containing goddess of fortune. Tulsi Ram. You look very youthful. But I know you're not so youthful. How long have you been practicing Krishna consciousness?
28 years.
28 years. We've known each other for a long time. Phew. Long awaited Krishna Balaram Mandir. Tulasi Pati Das. The husband of Tulsi, that's Krishna. Vindaya Tulasi Devai Priyaya Kesavashya Krishna Bhakti. Padidegi Satyavatana. He has the same smile as he did 28 years ago. Pankaj, how many rounds you chant on your beads every day?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Very good. And the 4 rules that you follow?
No intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling.
Is your son in the audience here? Where is he? Hey, Dad's taking initiation. He's excited. And you continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings. Very good. Your initiated name is Nandakumar Das. Pankaj Kumar becomes Nandakumar. Mom and Dad almost got it right. Nandakumar.
Padmasini Mataji from Mysore, Srivatsa.
This is the Singapore group. There's 3 of you.
Srivatsa and Sri Kumar.
Hare Krishna. How many rounds you chant on your beads every day?
16 rounds.
And the rules that you'll follow?
No meditating, no no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit.
Very good. And you'll continue, as you've been doing, to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings carefully. Your initiated name is Padmini Devidasi. Padmini is the name of Radharani that's found in a book, which I'll give you, because you get, your group will all get a list of how you spell your name and the meanings and everything. But it's written in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Krishna Bhavanamrita Mahakavya. He addresses Radharani as Padmini. Okay. So your vows are these same 3 vows. How many rounds you chant on your beads daily? Minimum 16. And the 4 rules?
No intoxication, no illicit sex, no eating, no gambling.
And you'll continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings carefully. Your initiated name is Sri Rasa Rasika Das. This means it's the name of Krishna, who's the hero of the Rasa dance, Rasa Rasika. Sri Rasa Rasika. Shri Kumar. Are you happy to be here in Vrindavan? Extremely happy. You look very happy. You're radiantly happy. Immediately. So the number of rounds you'll chant every day on your beads?
16 rounds.
And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication.
And you'll continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings. Good. Initiated name is Ganasham Das. It's a nice name of Krishna, Ganasham. Ganasham.
Ramananda Prabhu, Sandeep Prabhu, Neetu, Shobhit Prabhu.
Sandeep. Ready? You excited? You nervous? You look a little nervous. You're okay. Okay. How many rounds you chant every day on your beads? 16 plus. So you don't understand English. Doesn't understand English. Did he translate what I said at the beginning? I said he looks a little nervous. Yes?
They are seeing for the first time. Little nervous.
Okay. Okay. The 4 rules that you'll follow, say in Hindi. You got it. Okay. And you'll continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. You look more relaxed now. Your initiated name is Sambadas. Samba is one of Krishna's sons. One of Krishna's wives was Jambavati. And the first of 10 sons was Samba. And you'll find his name many places in Krishna book. He's a celebrated son.
बहुत प्रसिद्ध पुत्र है भगवान
Sambadas. And his good wife, Neetu. So, Hindi also? Okay. So how many rounds you'll chant on your beads?
16.
Okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Okay. And like your good husband, you'll continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Your initiated name is Netra Manjari Devi Dasi.
नेत्रा मंत्री देवदासी की जय।
Netra Manjari means one of Radharani's gopis who has very beautiful eyes. Netra Manjari. You'll find her name in Radha Krishna Godadesh Deepika by Rupa Goswami. You had some struggles getting here, but you made it. There was difficulty with all of the paperwork for getting your initiation squared away. You had your IDC and all that?
Some audits in my
Anyway, you're here. I'm happy you're here. Okay. How many rounds you'll chant every day? 16 minimum. 16 minimum. 16 plus is no way to say it. What's your, do you have a practice on, let's say, on Ekadasi, how many rounds do you chant? Usually. Will you increase japa on Ekadasi days?
minimum after time 34 and 40 rounds complete.
And the 4 rules that you follow?
Non-alcoholic, no gambling,
Very good. And you continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings. And your initiated name, Sundara Rupa Das.
सुंदर रूपदा प्रभु की
Do they speak English?
Mom speaks Hindi, Dad can speak.
Okay. So you can do the translating as needed. How many rounds you chant every day on your beats?
Minimum of 16.
And the rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit.
Okay. And you'll continue as you've been doing to follow Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Sharadi Devi Dasi.
शारदी देवदासी माता की
You may remember when we visited Unchagaon, the place of Lalita, we mentioned her mother's name. Sharadi is Lalita's mother's name. And you're Sharadi Devi Dasi, and your father is smiling like anything. Okay? Mataji? Yeah. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day? Okay. And the 4 rules that you follow, say in Hindu.
No meat eating, no eggs.
Okay. She's got them all?
No intoxication.
No gambling?
No illicit relationships.
Okay.
No gambling.
Okay. You don't like to gamble anyways, right? Okay, and like your daughter, you'll continue for the remainder of your life following Prabhupada's teachings. Your initiated name is Rati Kala Devi Dasi. Lalita has her group of 8 gopis. Translate. Rati Kala is one of the leaders of Lalita's 8 gopis. So like your daughter, you're connected to Lalita. And for the rest of your life, you'll continue chanting how many rounds each day on your beads?
Minimum 16.
Very good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit.
Very good. And you'll continue to closely follow Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Bhadra Sena Das. Bhadra Sena is one of Krishna's intimate cowherd boyfriends. Bhadra Sena. You'll find him in Krishna book. Our Calcutta duo.
Archana Roy Mataji, Anurag Ganguly Mataji from Calcutta.
So this is one of those, while we're waiting for them to come up, where the son helped mom become a devotee. But mom is a very nice devotee, and mom's sister is also a very nice devotee. And they've been on a journey for some time to get to this point of initiation. And their son has been a cheerleader the whole way, helping them take this step. So Archana, you're first. And by now you know the questions. How many rounds you'll chant every day on your beads? And the 4 rules that you'll follow? And you'll continue to follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings carefully, I'm sure. How was your dip in Radhakund? Did you take your dip in Radhakund? Your son asked permission. Did you go? Yesterday morning, Radhakund. Your initiated name is Archana Siddhi Devi Dasi. From Archana to Archana City, Devi Dasi. Are you ready?
Ajita Prabhu takes me there before 2014. 8 years with practice.
8 years back.
8 years practice.
8 years to this day. To this day? Okay. Should I ask you how practicing Krishna consciousness? Okay.
He takes me before, but it is
How many rounds you chant every day on your beads?
16 rounds.
Okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? And you'll continue, as you've been doing, closely following Prabhupada's teachings. Very good. Initiated name, Achintya Radha Devi Dasi.
Achintya Radha Devi Dasi ki jai.
From Anuradha to Achintya Radha.
From Hilo, Madhuri Yadav, Niti Akshin Anush Kukreja, Sneha Mataji, and Sumitra Pandey.
The indoor group, you all know who you are. Madhuri. Ready? Okay. How many rounds you chant on your beads?
Minimum 16. She can usually more, but minimum 16.
She can do more, but minimum 16. That's what the conference was about. You can chant more, it's okay. But minimum 16. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Okay. And you continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Initiated name is Mohini Murti.
Madhuri Murti Mataji.
You're the cheerleading squad. You have a strong voice. Your vows, how many rounds you'll chant every day? And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Got it. And you'll make your best effort to follow Prabhupada's teachings for the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Nitiksha Devi Dasi.
Nitisha Devi Dasi Mataji.
This is the name of the goddess of fortune. From Niti to Nitiksha. Anju? chant on your beads daily? Okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow? Okay. And you'll continue to carefully follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings the rest of your life. Your initiated name is Anada Devi Dasi.
Annada Devidasi Mataji Jai.
Anada Devi Dasi is one of the names that Yogamaya accepted after Kamsa was unable to kill her. You remember when we were speaking about the pastime of Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis? And the gopis that were worshipping Katyayani. So one of the understandings of Katyayani is a material expansion of Durga, but they were worshipping the internal potency Katyayani. So that's the meaning of your name also. Anada literally means the distributor of anna, or grain. Sneha. It's been a long journey, Sneha. Welcome. You made it. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads? And the rules that you'll follow? And like the rest of the devotees here, you'll continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings carefully. Your initiated name is Shamali Devidasi.
Shyamali Devidasi Mataji Jai.
Shamali literally means success or endurance. And Shamali is one of the names of one of Radha's gopis. It's also one of the names of one of Krishna's favorite cows. Shamali, success or endurance. Sumitra. Hare Krishna. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day? And the 4 rules that you'll follow. And you'll continue to carefully follow Prabhupada's teachings. Very good. Your initiated name is Sudhamukhi Devi Dasi. And all of you that are from different groups, your group will get a printout of the spelling and the meaning and all of that. So you don't have to be unclear, you can be very clear, but just a little bit. Sudha is not Shuddha. Shuddha means pure, but her name is different. Her name is Sudha. Sudha means nectar. So Sudhamukhi is the gopi that the other gopis was encouraging her to get out of the water in the Jamuna first, because Krishna is giving nectar and you're nectar, you're Sudha. Now we're ready for the mantras at the end. You've done all the preliminaries.
This time we request all of you to come closer so that we can put the flames in the fire. So please come closer. So those who are on the floor, if you want, you can come to this side. And you are going to be using these 3 fingers and take a little bit of flames. And each time when you say Swaha,
Yeah.
then after that, Mata will be and like sitting here, please make sure that you are not putting.
I saw you like on a motorcycle. How old are you now? How old are you? 3?
4 is the
Soft. Govinda, soft.
Vishnupadaya, Krishna-Desvaya, Gurudale, Srimate, Gomadaswamin, Vivinamine, Swaha, Swaha, Swaha.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Hina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Svaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhuttare Saham, 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 Mandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yata Padakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Raghunathan, Anvitam tam sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Karajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitanscha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvitesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutane Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Swaha 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 Namo Gaurakishoraya Sakshi Satchit Ananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Swaha 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 Gauravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha Swaha 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 Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Swaha Radha Kanta Namostate Swaha 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 Jayatam Saratopam Gaur Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasvapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Swaha 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 Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratna Swaha, 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 Shriman Rasa Rasaramhi, Vamshivata Tatastataha, Karshan Venusmanayar Gopir, Gopinatha Shriyeshtunaha, Swaha, 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 Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindavan, Swaha, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Another Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. Okay, final mantra, you have to stand with your banana. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Swaha Swaha Swaha. You can circumambulate while kirtan is going on 3 times.